Hello, my name is Jake, and I would like to elaborate on the fascinating characteristics of Lake Havasu. Havasu means blue water. It actually comes from the Mojave tribe. It's part of their language. But before I get into all that stuff, most people think that Havasu is like, about partying and drinking beer and getting smashed. Well, basically it kind of is. But there's a lot more to it. I mean, you really have to appreciate everything that's around it, just not besides like, drinking and all that stuff. I mean, there's so much more. It's really such a beautiful city. If you really look into it, there's so much culture and everything about it. Also, like the popular landmarks, you will hear from me today, like the London Bridge. You will hear about the Parker Dam, all the activities you can do out there. It's pretty interesting. I basically have 22 years of experience with Havasu because I've been going there my whole life, so I kind of know a lot about the area. I have like the best memories. So, and most of you guys probably have places you guys went to that you guys cherish and you guys like think back, like you did to Mexico, I did to Havasu. So most of the time we all have something in common, whether it's really not something in common, but right. But before Havasu was actually a lake, it was actually like a little part of the Colorado River. It's just like a little slither of it. Actually, Mojave tribes, and there's another tribe that I couldn't pronounce, but it was before the 1930s. They fished, they hunted beaver and did the skin and everything. They used them and ate them, but they didn't like the white man, so they kind of like, or American men, I should say. So they kind of like feuded together. What really sparked them getting mad was the Parker Dam was built in 1930, and still today Parker Dam is the deepest dam in the world. So basically when they built the Parker Dam, they basically flooded all the homes of the Indian tribes, and I guess they either had to migrate out or just die off, which is pretty sad. The guy, we'll talk about Robert P. McCulloch. He had some basically great achievements. He's the one that actually founded the city. He's the one that actually brought the London Bridge over. He actually bought the London Bridge. And so all of this, it wasn't for the London Bridge and the Parker Dam, like none of these places would exist. I would not have these memories, so I kind of have them to thank. So the London Bridge, it actually comes from the London. It's actually the London Bridge. He brought it over in 1968, and he paid $2,400,000 for it. He actually was the lowest bidder because there was like a contest who had the best idea, and the guy who had the most money for the bid didn't get it because he had the best idea to actually establish the city. And basically, you won't miss the London Bridge. It's pretty cool when you go under. You got like little sparrows like making nests and stuff out of mud, so hopefully they don't fall on you when you go under it. The dam is the deepest dam, and also most of the dam, it's 320 feet deep. And that's submerged underwater, and there's like another I think there's like another few hundred feet underground, and then also on top there's 85 feet above the water. It's pretty thick. It's deeper than the Hoover Dam because the Hoover Dam it's kind of weird because it's like shelf down, but I still consider the deepest dam in the world. There's so many things to do out there. I mean, also look at the bridge and look at the dam, but one of my favorite things to do is to relax in the coves. Most likely you meet people, you tie your boats up together, you have fun. I mean, everybody's just so laid back and just having a good time and just let all the troubles and worries go away. One of my favorite things to do is fish. You can see right here, I caught that. It was a pretty big catfish, but my cousin outbeat me. He actually caught that one right there. I think the catfish was like 85 pounds. So it was pretty cool and intense. I mean, you could kind of see like the coves that we go to, like see how blue the water is. It's pretty nice, but the water is actually like the best time is like in the beginning of the year, because what happens to the boats, they make it dirty and everybody kind of uses it as their garbage disposal. It's kind of sad, so that's why you kind of got to go in the beginning of the year, so you like to experience like this beautiful like water and fishing and everything before everybody messes it up by the end of the season. That's a big overhead view. That's the Parker Dam right there. This is the London Bridge. Like activities right there. You got the inner tubing. And you heard me talk about most of these things. Also, I'd like to talk about the channel. The channel is like another, it goes under the bridge. It's pretty intense. It's kind of like a big pool party. Everybody just gets their boats and they just glide down the channel, and you know, it's kind of like Mardi Gras in a way. You can throw beads, but you're just not allowed to flash. All of these things I've talked about, everybody can relate to me in some way. So, if you ever see me in Havasu, you most likely see me with a beer in my right hand and a fishing pole in my left, and I expect you to have the same thing in your right and your left.
So Laura, what did you think?
He didn't really cite his sources, but I liked it because the poster had a lot of personal pictures and he thought he really liked it. He knew what he was talking about, and yeah, it was a good presentation. I liked it.
All right. Well, Jake, you start off with your thesis statement as your attention device. I don't think that works very well. I think you'd be better off using the source of the name, talking about where it originated from. Use that as your attention device, and then tell us what you're going to focus on in the content. The topic is nicely identified, and you do have a clear thesis statement, so that part's pretty solid. What we're missing after that is a structure for what the supporting structure is going to consist of. I'm not quite sure where you're going or how you're going to get there. I know it's all going to be about this particular topic, but you kind of wander around on the subject, and that becomes a problem in the speech itself. It's I know you're there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
There you are. Okay. There are a couple of spots where I think even you know, oh, I've already talked about that, and, well, wait a second, what's that doing there? It just seems like there's no plan as to how you're presenting the information. So you've got good information in the speech, but sometimes it's a little incomplete, and sometimes it's not really put together very well, and those are two things that you want to fix. For example, I thought there's an interesting story or idea there about the London Bridge, but I didn't think that your explanation of it was very clear. I got a hint about what was going on when they made the decision to move it there and why he got it, but I didn't think that it was explained in the clarity that most of us would need to understand what happened. You know, it's just kind of a vague reference, sort of like you're passing on a story that you heard instead of something that you have some research on and some knowledge of that you can explain to us. The visuals, some of them are okay, like the picture of the bridge, it's large enough to actually see. The overhead picture, though, of the area that you're talking about is very difficult to see. Your picture with the catfish and your, was it your friend or your brother? Who had the other catfish, the one that was bigger. You know, those were okay. They're a little small, but that wasn't a big problem, like I said. But everything is on the one background, and it's up there the whole time. And my guess is that a lot of people were probably cruising through the photographs in the opening part of the speech, not paying much attention to where you were headed with it in the first place. So if you could kind of process that a little bit, I think it would come across better.